Hello, my name is Stephanie Davis and I'm the Managing Director of Pimbrook Software. I'd like to welcome you today to a demonstration around key accounting reporting functionality in Sage 50. I'm just going to have a quick whiz through on the agenda there. So we'll have a quick look at for anybody who doesn't know Pimbrook. Just want to show you some client testimonials. We'll jump into Sage 50 and any Q&As, and then we'll have some contact details left for you to follow on with. So just to update you, we are the Sage Business Partner of the Year for Sage 50 and Payroll. We've got over 17 years experience on servicing 1,300 clients. We are experts in around the Sage 50 and Payroll areas, and we are committed to exceptional customer service. So just a couple of client testimonials that we got there that I'm very proud to talk about, with great brands supporting them there, using terms like professional, efficient and committed, excellent, best company. We're very proud, but we work very hard to get those type of client testimonials. So if we have a look at our key accounting and functionality, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop into Sage 50. Now, we're in our Sage 50 there. Okay, so one of the first things I want to have a look at is trying to save time around two elements of Sage 50 that can help you, I believe, and that's your VAT return and your bank reconciliation. People are taking these pieces of information out of their applications, running them manually and then creating the returns. I feel this runs a high risk for the business of getting the information wrong, or if further information changes as you go down the line, you won't be able to capture that effectively. So I'm going to show you very quickly how to start a VAT return in Sage 50. So assuming that you've got all of your VAT codes set up correctly, what you'll do is you'll pop into your VAT return, you'll pop the date or the period of time that you're running it for, and you'll literally click Calculate VAT Return. I spoke to you just a minute ago about saying when you pull the information out, well, maybe if changes happen, well, these changes have been updated to my VAT return since my last VAT return. So the system now knows that these need to be included, even though they're outside of the date range that I'm running the VAT return for. So I'm going to click Include on those. And on the right-hand side, what it's doing is it's calculating the VAT based on my sales, my purchases, and what's the outstanding balance. Now, admittedly, I haven't got an awful lot of data in my demo company, but it is still pretty speedy. I've also got some validation results up here. So it's telling me here that I haven't updated them. Now, for the purpose of the demonstration, I don't want to update all of those, but I could have a look there and I could complete that process to ensure I hadn't excluded any. So I can see here that there's other tick boxes, so it's happy enough of no duplicate transactions or purchase orders that have been delivered but not invoiced, etc. So moving on from that, once I'm happy with the VAT return, I'm going to click on the Reconcile VAT Return. So I'm going to click on here, moving the tick box. Okay, so that will perform a reconciliation, and once that reconciliation is taken place, it will pop into what looks like the old-fashioned paper-based form. So you can see the figures have fallen through, as we would expect. But more importantly, over here, we've got a couple of tasks that we must complete when we're doing our VAT return. And one of that is if we're running any control account for VAT return, we just need to post a journal. So at a click of a button, that journal's posted. I don't have to figure out which nominal codes, etc. need to be updated. The system knows behind the scenes. So your VAT return can be uploaded to your ROS. Now, assuming everybody got their own individual logon, I can't demonstrate that here, so I'm just going to literally mark it as submitted. And unfortunately, one thing that we've all got to perform is our payment to the revenue. So again, don't have to look up any bank accounts. I don't have to look up any nominals. I can literally pop in the date and post the bank payment. So those three tasks are done within minutes. Very little follow-up. And once I click close, That's completed, and you'll see now that my VAT return has now been added to the list, the amount of that was due and the VAT that's being transferred. So it's completed. The other area I spoke about was a bank reconciliation. Again, pulling the information out won't keep it as up to date. All I need to do in here is click on my bank account and then the reconcile button. Put in a reference, put in a date, put in my closing balance from my statement. So I have one here. Let's see how we get on with this value. One, 5, 6, 4, 4, 17. I can put in interest and account charges at this stage, but I may not know them because I may not have looked through my whole bank my bank statement at this stage. So I'm just going to click on OK for the moment. So I'm presented on the top end of the screen with transactions that haven't been reconciled before. So if I click on one of these individually or both of them together, click on match, they will come down to the bottom end of the screen. You can see here that I've got a balance here, which is correct. So everything is balanced and it's different. There's no difference on that. Now I can save my bank reconciliation at this point in time. And what that'll do is may have been disturbed, I may have not had a chance to complete it. Your bank reconciliation could have hundreds of transactions on them. If I pop back into the bank reconciliation, use my saved, you will see that it will be here exactly how you left it on that. So if I select that, I realize that I missed one out. So I'm going to put a bank charge down there as well. And I notice now that I do have a difference on my statement versus my matched. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make an adjustment. So I need to make an adjustment there, and I'm clicking here, and it's asking me what type of adjustment I need to do. So I'm going to click on bank payment, click OK. Now these programs are exactly the ones that you use outside of the bank reconciliation. So I'm going to select a bank charges, pop it in here at 20 euros. I'm going to do my T9, which is not VAT applicable, and click on saved. So now what I've also got to do is, because that one's already been included in this, so it didn't go to the top to select it, so I've got a difference of 40. So just to show you that I can put in a bank receipt, so I could put in a positive figure. So it's not necessarily just the minus figure. So I could have said, okay, I need to put in a receipt there. So I'm going to put 40 euros on that, oops, 400, 40 euros on that, T9, click save, and that again will pop down to the bottom of the list. So you can see here the receipts and payments either side. You can see now that my difference is cleared. If I wanted to, I could send this out to Excel. I can run a report. So I would strongly encourage you when you're doing this to run your reports and possibly export them out to PDF so that you can keep them for the accountant. So to give them confidence in things that were performed at that time. Once I'm happy with that, I click on my reconcile, and everything is now completed. If I go back into the reconciliation, it will start again from scratch with only the outstanding items on my list. So you can see my list has shrunk here, and the reconciled items at the bottom there have disappeared. So another area that I wanted to talk to you about is reports. Reports is another time-saving exercise I see. Now, we've all got different report requirements, but I suggest that you look at something like the batch reporting. So in the Blue Peter world, I've one prepared earlier. So if we have a quick look at this, I'm going to have a look at the preview. So I'm going to run it for January to December, the standard chart of accounts, and I'm going to click on OK. I'll come back to show you how I got to this point now shortly, but just see the end result here first. So you can see up the top here, I've got a P&L, I've got a balance sheet, and I've got a period trial balance. All these in one click of a button. So I didn't have to worry about whether I was running the right period because the same period applied to all three reports. So how did I perform that? So I close off this and I'm going to click on edit. So in my list here on the right-hand side are the three reports I decide to be in the batch reporting. But on the left-hand side, these are all of the reports that are available for my selection. So I'll pop into the nominal and we'll pop into, keep it in the same area, the P&L, and I'll click on the prior year. So once I add the prior year, now I expect when I run this to have 4 reports coming out. So I'm just going to click save. and I'm going to click preview again. My criteria pops up. I'm going to click OK. And you should see in the top now, I've got 4 reports. So if you're having that phone call at 4:30 on Friday asking to be put reports together, I would certainly suggest having these all pre-prepared if they're all similar. So this can start the start of your management pack, either weekly, monthly, quarterly. Now, also while you're in here, while we're just looking at this, you'll see that the blue in here is hyperlinked. So if I click on that, I create another tab. And this is a breakdown of the figures that I have clicked into. So once I click in here, it will create another tab. And I'm getting right down to the details now just from this single area. I just close off and it'll close off those tabs. But remember, I have my print, my email, and my export button. So again, I think very useful information there. Another reporting area that we've been working on, and it's our P&L. So it's looking at our monthly P&L, and because we're basing this on transaction date, we can actually go back or go forward onto prior or future periods, which I know can be sometimes a problem, some of the standard Sage 50 reports. So let's have a look here. We tend to put our date in. We've got we'll have a look at total sales. So what I'm going to do in Sage 50, I'm going to run a nominal report, and I'll run the P&L. I'll click on preview. I'll run it for January to December. And we can see here, so we can see here our total sales for the year to date is 410. So if we pop back into our Excel, so we know that this is not updated. So I'm just going to, because the last time it was updated was on the 10th of the 10th. So I'm going to click on update. And the connection has been established. Rows have been extracted, and you can see now there that my total has gone to 410,055, which should balance in here to 410,055. So again, you can use, if you're comfortable with pivot tables, you can use this report to create many other different types of reports. So you can use your Excel, and you look at some charts, some pie charts, or just sorting the information differently here in across maybe a monthly opposed to grouped. And again, just briefly on the other one that we have here is our balance sheet. So if we have a look at our balance sheet here, so we'll pull out, we'll collect our balance sheet here in our Sage 50, just close off the P&L and open up our balance sheet. On that. Okay, so we've got our balance sheet here. So let's take our debtors for argument's sake. Year to date is 49660.82. So I'm going to pop back into the balance sheet. Let's update this now because this wasn't updated for a while. So we've extracted the rows. So we can see there our debtors is 49661. So this is rounded up into our Excel versus our Sage 50 report, which you can see there is our 49660 rounded up to 661. Again, two very important reports that could help you on your monthly. So another area that I just wanted to have a quick look at was around the recurring invoicing under our sales. So if you do have recurring invoices, so the same amount roughly going through, you can click on your recurring invoices. This is all the ones that I have set up. If I click on the process, you will see these are the ones now that are due to be created up until the 29th of October. If I click on process, all of those will start populating in the background here. So up at the list is just populating. So what we'll have on our list is some additional invoices. So you can see there the 29th, the 10th has come through here from Marina Guesthouse. I can duplicate that. So I could create another one very similar if I want to, not recurring necessarily, but I may want to add something, maybe something different onto the item. I may want to just add an additional charge for some reason. This will become a separate invoice, but I haven't got to find the additional lines that are here. They're already there. I can change the date on that to the 30th of October and click on save. Okay, and that one will now pop in. I may decide actually I don't need the 29th one. I would like to, so I'm just going to credit this invoice. So again, the credit note has come up. I don't have to find the product codes or the amount. I can click on save and I can click on close. So what that will do there is that will create a credit note, a replica of the invoice. If I just going to credit this one here, if I actually updated this one, do I have enough stock to update this one? Yep, that's updated there. So if I have a look at this one now, I can credit this one. I'm just have a quick look. I'm just going to save on this one. You'll see because this invoice has now been updated, it's asking me would I like to allocate it where the other one wasn't updated. And it's just telling you now that it has been updated and allocated through. So you can see on this credit note, the yes posted has been flagged on this one. Thank you very much for listening to this demonstration. I'll just pop you back onto the contact details. If you have any information that you want to get in touch with us afterwards, please feel free to contact Gavin or myself on the above number. And we are certainly doing some specials on training and upgrades if you've been attending the webinar. So thank you very much again.